Judging by the clock on the wall, it's that time again, folks. Time for your favorite show, Countdown to Armageddon, with your host, Publius. And yes, folks, I've got a good one today. They've come out and admitted it. Yes, of course, they lie, they twist, they cheat, they steal. But now they've come out and said, yeah, we did lie, we cheated, we twisted, and we stole. We broke the law, and we did it for your own good. Yep, Time Magazine this last week put out an edition and a story telling you how the Democrats stole the election. They call it safeguarding it for democracy. Can you believe this shit, folks? They safeguarded the election. No, they didn't. They lied. They cheated. They stole. They broke their own state constitutions. They rewrote the laws. They did anything and everything they could to do what they wanted, which was steal the election. But the sad part is they've admitted it. This is mind-boggling. They actually believe you're stupid enough to go, okay, that's good for me, thank you. And the bad part about it is there's a lot of people that are saying, okay, thank you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Publius once again can tell you, yeah, we're living in a messed up time, folks, when they can boldly and brazenly brag about what they've done to steal an election, and nobody is throwing a fit. The only people throwing a fit are Republicans and the Libertarians. But that's okay, because the Democrats are working hard. They've got a plan on how to fix this. Not how to stop them from stealing the election, but how to shut you up. They have decided that people that have views that are against theirs are domestic terrorists. They've taken the mess up on the Capitol Hill protests. The same people that encouraged the BLM riots are saying that, well, because there was violence at the Capitol Hill, we need to crack down on domestic terrorism. They're working on bills as we speak that'll tell Facebook, Twitter, and all social media that anybody who says things that could possibly lead to violence need to be reported. They're also working with them to basically encouraging them to ban people that disagree with them. You know, there's an old saying, people who refuse to study history are doomed to repeat it. This is directly out of the playbook of the Nazi Party, of the Communist Party. They're working on a system to where they're going to silence anybody who disagrees with their view of how things, well, their view of anything. They want to rewrite reality. You have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who lied her butt off saying that she was afraid for her life because they were going to come kill her. Nobody was coming to kill her. She was in her office, and a guy from the Capitol Police went to try to help her, to let her know it was time to be evacuated and where to go. She was nowhere near the protesters. She was safe in an entirely separate office building. And the knock of a Capitol Hill cop scared her. But that she's added to that, by the way, folks. If you haven't heard, she thinks this guy was, the way he looked at her was so mean and so oppressive that she felt sexually violated. Yep, just by looking at her like she was a scumbag, apparently, he assaulted her sexually. Well, our dear little Miss Alexandria wants to have a truth czar, somebody who can define what is true. You know, the idea of what is true is a little bit difficult when you're coming down to opinions. I think you're an idiot. Does that make you an idiot? No, that means I think you're an idiot. It doesn't mean you are. It doesn't mean you're not. But they're going to decide. Their czar of the truth is going to decide between opinions? Yep. And we've seen this before, folks. And we're going to see it again. And why are we seeing it again? Because the Democrats don't want you having your own opinion. They've repeatedly said this. Now, go back. Watch CNN. Watch MSNBC. Listen to these commentators. They're actually saying, well, these other sources, they reach too many people. They give them different opinions and different views on things. Yes, that's what we need. Not less opinions, more views. But not to them, because they want to make sure the only opinion, the only news, and the only view you ever get to see is theirs. Because they think that's the way they're going to keep control of things. Sorry about that, folks. And why do they think that? Because it works. If you control the news and you control the media and you control what people actually have access to hear and understand, then you control the people. They got their fake election through. They stole the election. And the Democrats firmly believe it wasn't stolen. They'll even tell you, well, there may have been some cases of voter fraud or other issues like that, but nowhere to the point of affecting the election. You realize that in some of these areas, supposedly Biden only won by a couple hundred votes. Doesn't take a lot of voter fraud to affect an election. And they're not even discussing how many people that were illegals that voted. And I know there's somebody out there saying, come on, Publius, illegals didn't vote. In the state of California, illegals can vote on state races, on state issues. If they can vote on those, what stops them from voting on the federal level? Them saying, please give me the right ballot? Come on. If you've made it so easy for them to cheat, people are going to cheat. Another thing that came up this last week is Donald Trump finally got nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. I would say this is a wonderful thing, because he actually did do something that deserving of a Nobel Peace Prize by trying to help bring peace to the Middle East. But let's see who else got nominated. BLM. Who the heck nominated BLM? What the heck were they nominated for? A peace prize? How the hell are they encouraging peace? Let's see. I guess under the new definitions, that Orwellian think speech, if you burn buildings down, you're encouraging peace. Wow. I hope they don't encourage more peace then. The BLM received a nomination. Another person who received a nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize is Stacey Abrams. Now, if you don't know about Stacey Abrams, she's a Democrat out of Georgia who helped collect ballots in this last election, many of which, I'm sorry, I question them. Whether you do or not, that's up to you. But she's just another crooked Democrat politician who has been caught repeatedly lying, and she received a nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize. What is this world coming to? I'm sorry. Anybody who takes the Nobel Peace Prize seriously anymore is a moron. That's my opinion. And when the Thought Czar decides to tell me that that's wrong, you can't tell me it's wrong because it's my opinion. Why is the Nobel Peace Prize worthless in my book? Barack Obama got it from being black. If that is the qualification for a peace prize, what is this world coming to? I'm waiting for the next one that comes out and says, well, we're going to give this person the Nobel Peace Prize because they think they're a man who thinks they're a woman. Things are going bad, folks. The potential for war is there. All it's going to take is not one good spark. Because the only people that seem to have any brains on the Democratic side is Tulsi Gabbard. Now, since this election is finished and this new year, 2021, this woman has come out and shown she has more brains than the entire Democratic Party put together. She tells them, you're acting like you're becoming Nazis. You're more of a danger than any of these sub-threats that you're talking about. She has been unafraid at taking on the administration and the hierarchy in Congress. The sad part is she's no longer a representative. She no longer represents the state of Hawaii, even as a congresswoman, and it's a shame, because she would be a lot better at it than Hiroshi or whatever her name is. I mean, you know, she's the one that asked the last Supreme Court nominee, a woman, by the way, if she's ever sexually harassed an employee. Yeah. Well, folks, between time telling the truth, which is a miracle, and the future crackdown on anybody who dissents and disagrees, it's an interesting time we're living in. Biden, he's heading to have the record number of executive orders because he needed to protect us from that dictator of Trump. Yeah, I know. Let that sink in. I've got to unilaterally decide and issue orders to tell people how to live their lives, what is right, what is wrong, and everything else, because I need to protect you from that dictator Trump who's no longer in office. Well, that's the Democrats for you, folks. And what do we see out of the Republicans? Well, Mitch McConnell is showing that he could be a rhino. I will say that I still like Rand Paul. He occasionally says things quite a little more often than most that actually make sense. He has a tendency to fight both parties anytime they mess up. Another politician that I've been liking lately, I like the way Ted Cruz is not sitting back going with the flow. The idea of going along to get along, well, that's going to lead us into a dictatorship and into a tyranny, or more likely into a civil war. Yes, folks, it's an interesting time we're living in. Not in a good interesting. The new bills that are being written right now or trying to be written, some of them are scary. Some of them, I'm sitting back, and I'll be honest, I think the Supreme Court's going to throw those out because they are just flat out insane. There's a bill being worked on by one of the Democrats to, basically, they're coming to get your guns. We've said it for years. Democrats want to take your guns, and there's always been some moron going, yeah, well, who's going to come get your guns? No one's out to get your guns. No one's going to do this. No one's going to do that. Well, they're starting to admit, yeah, we're out to get your guns. I mean, look at Beto. Yeah, we're going to take your guns. No, folks. If you sit back and you let them take your guns, then you're unarmed. And an unarmed population is easier to control. That's all what it's all about. Control. Can they set up a system to where you will have no choice but to do as you're told? I personally don't want to become a slave. I'd rather die on my feet than live my life on my knees. And I think you're going to end up having to face that choice too. Now, I'm not an advocate for a civil war. I do think a civil war is a very horrible thing. And I've heard people talking about how, Yeah, I'll get my gun. I'll go out and join them. Join who? This is not going to be like the Civil War back in the 1800s. This is going to be a mess. There is not going to be a front line. The front line is going to be neighborhoods. You're going to end up being put into a fight with your neighbors. Why? Because they don't want you to have your own beliefs. You're going to either do what they want you to do, or you're going to pay the price. Well, I don't want to do that either. We got problems. And in this day and age, you look around, there ain't enough people out there that are opening their eyes and saying, you know, you're both batshit. We need the answer's right here. It's somewhere in the middle. I'll give you a great example. Democrats want to give money to the people. The Republicans are like, well, it would be better to give them a job. Well, yeah, it would be better if they had a job. But that job isn't going to pay for their bills from before. Which, in case you're wondering, I'm talking about the stimulus. Most of the stimulus package is garbage. It's just a bunch of crooks trying to figure out a way to grease their pockets and help their buddies. But let's talk about direct stimulus to the population. I will tell you right now, Publius supports this idea. Why? Because it's our damn money. Somehow, we've gotten this mixed up, stupid viewpoint that it's the federal government giving money out. That it's their money. No, it's not. It's your money. It's my money. It's our money. Give us back our money. I'd much rather see the federal government giving us out $2,000 a month, if that's what it takes, until they can fix their stupid plan on how to deal with a non-virus virus. But the very idea that you're going to tell people you can't make a living, you must stay home. Well, the minute you do that, you got to give them money. People got to eat. People got to pay bills. Yes, well, we're going to let you go back to work next month. See, we're going to help you. No, you're not helping us at all. You're being a bunch of dickheads sitting up there who don't care because you have a regular paycheck. They started this crap almost a year ago. March of last year. And in that time frame, so far, they have given $1,800 to the population. $1,800. That ain't jack. I would like to see every member of Congress live the next 11 months on $1,800. Then I will enjoy it. Till then, stop being stingy, give us back our damn money, and it's the U.S. people's money, not your money. Republicans need to get your heads out of your backside. You're not giving out welfare, you're giving back people's money. You like tax breaks? Well, it's the same thing. Give them people back their money. Let them pay their bills. Let them live. Yes, as somebody who is a classical liberal, I don't believe in government giving out money and taking care of the people. But in this case, the government has to. They owe it to the people. Because the people aren't sitting there starving, aren't sitting there unable to pay their bills because they're lazy. No, it's because the government stuck their nose in. Well, if you're going to stick your nose in, you got to pay the price. So, again, it's in the middle. Republicans are wrong on their attitude on stimulus paychecks. On the other side, giving money to a state to help it pay for its broken infrastructure system that they didn't pay for because they can't run their budget. Wrong. Let me say that again. California don't get the money. New York should not get the money. Minnesota should not get the money. I don't think I should have to pay for Minnesota's riots. I didn't do it. I didn't allow it. Stop making people pay for other people's screw-ups. Your governor, your state allowed it, make them pay. You live in those states, go after them. Stop trying to tell another city or state, well, you need to help us rebuild. Nope. I'm done. I'm tired of that. Rebuild, rebuild, rebuild. Why? So it can be burnt down again next week? It makes about as much sense as continuing to rebuild New Orleans. You live below seawater. You got flooded. And this is what? News to you that this was a potential? Sorry, folks. Don't take rocket science. And when you can sit down in New Orleans at a cafe and look up and watch the ships go by, I said, look up and see ships going by. There's a problem. You're below sea level. You deserve what's going to happen. The first time the hurricane takes you out, okay, maybe we help you. Second time, you're pushing it. After the third time, screw you. You're too stupid to move, and you deserve what you get. It's a little bit Darwinian, but maybe that's what we need, is to get back to Darwin. The idea is supposed to be the strong survive. Survival of the species. The smarter, the stronger, the better species lives. Not when it comes to humans, because we're going to make sure we protect the idiots from themselves. It's time for a little Darwinian survival of the fittest to come back into humanity. It's time for these stupid people to start paying for what they do wrong. It's time for the stupid people to start paying for how they screw up our cities and our states. This is what we need. And that's it for today, folks. I'll be back later on. Never know when. It's going to take. Sorry about the last week. Been taking a little bit of vacation, but ain't missed a whole lot. And and Publius will return. We will continue with the countdown for Armageddon. Keep your eyes open. You never know when it'll be. Thank y'all. Remember, if you like this program, click the like button. If you didn't like the program, click it anyway. Number 2, tell your friends about it. If they don't agree with me, that's great. Write the notes. Send me a message that you don't agree. Hey, I'd love to tell you how much I disagree with your messages. Give me your comments. Give me your likes. Give me your subscriptions. Like, share, put it out there. Let's get this discussion going. If you don't agree with me, let me know why and let me know how. And let's have a discussion. I know that's something that as many of you don't understand. That's where two people voice different sides of the same issue. And they discuss this and try to explain why they don't like or do like different things. Well, give it a try. Thank you all, folks. This has been Publius, your host on Countdown to Armageddon. And I hope you enjoy yourselves.